Hello, good morning. Going to give a quick video update. Again, there'll be a PDF attached or on the email if you want to read that. Right quick, first, deacons. We continue to move forward in this process of appointing deacons alongside the sermon series, the prayer that your elders are putting into this and conversations and the development of role descriptions, all of those that are ongoing right now. Just want to give you an overview of the process. Real quick, we're going to invite the people that are presented, nominees. If you like that language, don't get hung up on that. We're going to initial contact with them, then a role description meeting with them. That's where we're at right now, still in that process. Then we're going to have a class for them to participate in that just goes even more deeply over general explanation of what a deacon is and expectations around serving in that role. If people still want to move forward, then there'll be an interview with the elders and an interview of the elders. Just again, getting real clear on expectations and what we're looking for. Then there would be a trial season, so like an opportunity for the person to see how it goes and grow in that. That might shape the job description, especially this being our first time doing this. A lot of flexibility, a lot of humility around this. Then after that, reflections, and move to the fifth step, which is present these folks to the members to have a time to pray a season, to share any questions or concerns, and at the end of that, an affirmation. And then the final step would be just an appointing ceremony, for lack of a better word. We'll lay hands and pray during a Sunday gathering. So we just want you to continue to pray for the church in this season. Second thing you'll find on the update is a prayer guide. We're taking these prayer guides from the Kansas City Underground, a church that we're not exactly alike, but shares a lot of the same mission and vision of being a church that is out in the world and living on mission as God's kingdom family together. And so there's a prayer guide in there, and I like the way they say we'll only go forward on our knees. And so I want to encourage you to take that prayer guide and pray it in light of the local realities of our church and your missional community and your everyday life, and consider fasting a meal and prayer around that as well. Next thing is we have this new room that we've been talking about through these updates and emails that's going to be able to be utilized to help our kids in our Sunday gathering. We would love to see these rooms that we have being used to bless people during the week. We don't know what that looks like, but we really are thankful that we can have a better space to serve our kids and our helpers in our Sunday gathering. So on that note, we need more help. And if there's any way that you'd be willing to serve in our children's ministry, get on that rotation. You don't have to be the teacher. Just talk to Gina Rogers and let her know that you're interested. Personally, I'd like to see it where so many of the kids in our neighborhood or from our common mission, everyday missions are just flowing in there. But we need help to make that happen in a feasible way. Next thing is kind of was a surprise to me, but this past week we ran out of parking for our Sunday gathering. That was a great problem in many ways to have, but what was really sad was to hear is that somebody came and left because they couldn't find a parking spot. And this is not about consumerism. This is about people who are seeking to come and stand around that communion table after hearing the gospel and praising God and experiencing who Jesus is in this way that he's designed. And so a few things we're thinking about, we're going to be making adjustments. If anybody can carpool, that would be great. If you can park in that side lot by the dumpsters, try that. If you consider, if you're a member, parking the furthest away as possible, so when people pull up at the end, maybe they could see a spot if there is one. If you're in our MC, the Creatives MC, maybe go ahead and just park at our house or around our house prior to the gathering. Now let's pray that people keep coming, but let's also ask what we need to do to accommodate people well. Next thing, and this is probably one of the most exciting things, is that we have 2 new missional communities that are launching this month. We are all about multiplying disciples, not missional communities. We want to make Jesus known and multiply the knowledge of him to whole people in their whole lives, to the whole world, to our whole city, and other whole things I could say. But the way that we do it, and it's not the only way to do it, is through missional communities. That's what we're about, because we want to see these tables like we see in Matthew 9, where there's just extravagant grace experience through coming to know Jesus in an everyday life and home setting. And also in Acts 2, we see the church being the church, not just in a large gathering, but in homes together or public places. I'm not trying to get legalistic around that. That's what we do. So we're super excited. Have these 2 new MCs launching, one with a focus towards families, family discipleship, and one with a focus towards learning to engage the gospel in view of movies. And so you might have a lot of questions around those things, but this is super excited. If you have questions about the family one, you can talk to the Kashners. Question about the movie one, you can talk to the Manais. So we just thank God for His grace. And there's other MC opportunities as well, as always. And finally, went over 5 minutes here, didn't want to do that. Back to deacons. So we're a church that's a hodgepodge theologically in many ways. Words like Reformed, Charismatic, Baptist, Missional, lowercase c Catholic. So people come into our church for many different reasons, for many different backgrounds, and through many different doors with different expectations, experiences. And one of those is around this issue of deacons. And that brings up a lot of cultural baggage. But one thing that some people may be having an issue with or scratching their head around due to certain backgrounds is that we have female deacons. We said we were going to do that from the very start, but that doesn't mean that's been said maybe often or to you. And so it's all good if you want to talk about that. I'm attaching some resources in the email that say more. And so, yeah, I hope you look at those and I hope you have a great weekend. Let's be praying that we will enjoy Jesus together, not only Sunday, but throughout this whole weekend. Which leads to one last real quick thing is remember to take seriously the practice of a Sabbath. I'm going to do the whole theology, and some of you roll your eyes at that. Some of you don't think it's possible. Remember, it's not about legalism. Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. But how might you grab some hours this weekend of rest? Turn off the phone, turn off the to-do list, and just enjoy the presence of God, knowing that you can just be with Him. You don't have to do anything for value or worth. All right. Grace and peace.